Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Palace Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure
here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Jones.
Good afternoon and welcome Kitty Ken to the show. It was such a good time for him to make an appearance last night on the NFL Roundtable Talk. All right, thank you. Yes, I extended the cutoff till 7 p.m. tonight because so few people had a chance to actually get their picks in. So get your picks in today. 7 p.m. is the cutoff. We got Dwayne Keen in the chat. Good afternoon to all. Let's go Detroit Lions. One pride, Kings of the North Division Championship title. All grit, never back down. 7-1, make it 8-1. Good afternoon, JB. One pride. And Moonscar, I'm glad you found it. Took a second for me to find the post. Good afternoon, lunchtime with JB. And the Mountain Dew is flowing once again. I went grocery shopping this morning. That's why I haven't been in a lot of the chat. But that being said, yesterday, we made quite a few moves in the afternoon. I want to go over them all real quick. Let's go to the top of this. Delusional isn't the word for it, Sarah. Lions practice report. Jalen Reeves-Maven, no practice. Malcolm Rodriguez, no practice. Zadarius Smith, no practice. Roderick Martin, full practice. Ifeatu Mendel-Famu, full practice. Emmanuel Mosley, full practice. Josh Pascal, full practice. Sion Vaki, full practice. And Mikai Winko, full practice. Okay, on the channel, if you go over to the community side, there's a post that shows the picture of the pick'ems. In the comments, just type in your picks. Will Vogel, you're available to put your picks in there too. Type your picks in to be a part of the custom jersey draw for whoever has the most picks by the end of the month. It's a 1-month thing, and so I can give fans a custom jersey before Christmas. Yeah, Fred, I hear you. But again, for those that weren't there, I think the Bears season is done. I don't see them going on a run with that bum offensive line. Absolutely 100%. I think coaching and O-line is their problem. They have the same O-line coach they've had for 2 regimes, and they have not gotten any better at that thing. So somebody's got to give. Kitty Ken made a appearance on the show last night. Isn't that cute? For those that didn't get to see it. I thought it was an amazing one. Kitty Ken. wonder how he's doing right meow. Oh, it's funny. Thank you, Moonscar. Glad you could find it. All you gotta do is type in your picks like everybody else does. That way, all I got to do is go in and add up how many wins each person have. I don't mind if Bears keep that coaching staff another 20 years. Amen, Sarah. Keep it. It's doing so amazing for them. The Bears O line have the quality protection of a dollar store condom. Yes, sir. We've all said this. I agree. Yoli Cruz, welcome in, my friend. Let me turn the sound on for you. Boom, 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 boom. And it is. This is just for you, Yoli. Welcome in. Yes, she has her own intro music. Any Packer fan that's willing to come in and watch me talk Lions, I'm going to give them big props. Sarah, I will come up with a song for you because your team's doing well too. I mean, the Honolulu Blue Flu did bite you for a week, but I warned everyone that Puka and Cup was going to play on Wednesday, and everybody says, "Oh, I haven't seen that." Is Blake Cashman back for you guys? Because you guys need him bad. That turf toe is killing him, and I understand it. That's a horrible thing to go through, turf toe. Uh, Put it this way: it's like having a corn on a foot that you got an ingrown toenail on. Is what I've heard. That's the pain level that it's at. So is Blake Cashman back practicing yet, or is he still nursing the turf toe? Because I will say Blake Cashman is 100. Oh, that's good for you guys. Yes, we could. But is he still good? He's been languishing on their practice squad. He was limited in practice, so he may play this week. If not, it'll be next week, correct? Is that not what I'm hearing there by what you're saying if he's limited in practice? Because that's the way it is with us. But Emmanuel Mosley and if Ifeatu Melifonwu is back at full practice and in their 21-day active window, hey, I said that they were quietly going to be either horrible or good because of the defense. Don't get me wrong, because I did say they were either going to be very bad with, yeah. Okay, Mac Jones. Okay. That being said, what an amazing time here in the North overall. I mean, if it wasn't for the Bears, every team would be above 500 between the debacle there and Washington. And I don't think their defense recovered because they gave up 27 to the Cardinals. And don't get me wrong, the Cardinals are a good team. They're doing very well this year, a lot better than everybody else expected. The surprise team in the NFL, it's a tie right now between Minnesota and Washington. And I said both teams had a chance to be very good. I had people argue with me that they didn't do enough on defense. And I said, you better look again. The fact that they're playing Jeremy Chin at exclusively safety instead of moving him around like everybody else did is a big reason why Jeremy Chin's having a good season at safety for Washington. Because he always was a good safety. It was them moving him to slot corner and then to outside corner, then back to safety. Good job, Will. Glad to hear it. And remember, that's a custom. Yeah, I have the feeling too. Looking at the stats, Tennessee hasn't been very good on defense like everybody thinks. Their red zone defense is atrocious, 30th in the league. What a wild world we live in to know Detroit versus Washington in the NFC Championship game is a very realistic possibility. It's very realistic that it could be two NFC North teams in that. That's the crazy thing, Fred. Nobody's even put that in there. Sarah, I said prior to the season and got rode on by everybody in the chat. When I was on Ken and Ken prior to the season, I said I made a bold take that Dallas and the 49ers both missed the playoff. And everybody's like, "Well, I don't see that. Their rosters are too good." I see it. And it looks like it's real. Both teams are hovering at 500 or under. Both teams are circling the toilet bowls of their division. I said we could. I personally would poach Andre Carter up the Minnesota practice squad. I'd like to see what Terrell Williams could do with a second year guy that haven't had much playing time and see how he could be coached up. But that's just me. I like rookies. I like young guys. I don't like guys in the twilight of their career prime all the time. Yep, only way the Niners make it is if they win the division, and right now they got a tough road ahead of them. The Cardinals beat them in their house. That's not going to be an easy task for them to go in there and beat the Cardinals with some confidence because they already won a game against them. And what have we always said? Doesn't matter if it's 1 point or 20. When it's a rival fan base, you got your ass kicked. I personally prefer the double digit wins myself over opponents, but Minnesota has too good of a defense to allow us to run ahead like that. Yeah, I don't think so either. I, I get it. The NFC West, even though it doesn't look like it's a dogfight, it's still a dogfight division because I think that division is so evenly matched. Cardinals can run the ball. Nothing wows me about them, but they keep winning. They're getting healthier every week too, Orlando. Everybody that's been on their IR to start the season is coming back right now. That's a key thing to look at with the Cardinals. They barely had Darius Robinson on the field. They barely had their starting defensive tackle on the field. They barely had the safety opposite Buda Baker on the field. So when you figure that and they're still winning games, that's a good coach team. That's my point. Even though the guy made comments that made Dan Campbell look like a Mensa member last year, that coach is a good coach. That's all I'm getting at. And Kyler Murray looks like a better quarterback than anybody predicted. Who knew if you got him a weapon that wanted to catch the ball, he'd do better? And who knew that the number one yardage defense in the NFL would be the Chargers? They passed up the Titans this past week. It's going to be a long season. I mean, I realize we're at the halfway point, but who do you have as Pro Bowlers right now across the NFC? That's something I wanted to ask everybody. I mean, right now, I know I've said the same thing. It's hard to protect your quarterback. Hear me out on this one. It's hard to protect your quarterback when your O line looks like a subway turnstile in New York at rush hour. So if it was going to be NFC quarterbacks, and there's first team, second team, and honorable mention. Polls will draft 5 polls in the next. That's funny, Sarah. I like it. Okay, so let's see. At quarterback, I think I would have Jared Goff on the first team, Jaden Daniels on the second team. Does anybody disagree with that right now? And the honorable mention goes to Sam Darnold. Running backs, I think right now you would have to go Saquon Barkley as first team. And here's the question: Is it David Montgomery? Is it Jameer Gibbs at second team? Because that's where it's at with me. And the honorable mentions, yes, Sam Darnold is a roller coaster, but at the same time, he's doing well. So I'm giving him credit because he's been better than he has been good. Bad is what I'm saying. He's been better than he's been bad. And I know everybody gets frustrated when they're with their quarterback when they have the struggle get bust games. Behan Robinson isn't even an honorable mention right now. He's behind Gibbs and Monty in touchdowns. He's way behind Saquon in yards. Why does everybody think he's better than Monty and Gibbs? Right. And that's why I asked your guys' opinion, Fred. So I think it would be Saquon on the first team. Second team would be David Montgomery, and then you'd throw Gibbs and Behan as the honorable mentions. Does anybody disagree with that? With I think you'd have to add because they're pretty much the same this year at 10 millions. I don't get. I hear you. Uh, Fantasy points don't talk about actual production on the field. I'm not. I could give two shits less about fantasy points. Is he putting up touchdowns? No. Goodbye. Monty and Gibbs had Monty had 6 game straights with the touchdown this year, and Gibbs has 7 straight. Come on, where are you going with that, Orlando? Just because you like him better in fantasy, he can eat a dick. He ain't doing it on the field. Kamara's not even close. Not even close. And he's missed games. Lots of games. You know what? If Behan Robinson was so good, why does Tyson Algier have more rushing touchdowns? I'll wait. There's your argument. He's not a red zone threat. Is Mingo running the ball for Dallas now? He should be. He can't catch. God, how do you do that? How do you give up a fourth rounder? No, harpazo is a biblical term in Greek. A sudden rapture, if I remember that correct. Harpazo? I know it's Brent. I just like saying the name that's on the screen. Yeah, you got Brent DeWitt, you got this Brent. We had a couple Brents from other teams, so he wanted to distinguish himself. I appreciate the originality. See, I remember stuff when people tell me maybe garbage in and garbage out. Hey, Sarah, what about the way we fleeced them for Roy Williams back when we were a bad team? We were the Panthers of the NFL when Dallas made that trade. There's a history of Dallas getting fleeced, a sudden snatching away with force. Yep. Yeah, rapture is a snatching away. That being said, the key additions that we added is everybody we just waived, and we added another linebacker to the practice squad too, because of the call ups we had to do during the injury ridden couple of weeks we've had. Abraham Beauplan, Chris Smith, and linebacker Ezekiel Turner have came to the practice squad. Nice. Well, Jerry kind of did that to himself, Sarah. Remember what he said when Jimmy left? Please God, give me just one after Jimmy. He got it. The Barry Switzer Super Bowl. They haven't sniffed the NFC Championship game again. The Lions have been to more NFC Championships. She's been. I I don't know what Sarah's age is. I do not ask a woman their age. If they want to divulge that information, they can put it in the chat. But I believe Sarah's been around as the Viking Queen for quite a while. I have seen her talk on the old Zooms that they used to do on the huddle, NFC North the huddle. So I think she's been around a minute, boys. Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson. You know, let's be real here. There's been some greats in the NFL other than Barry Sanders. But to hear an Eagles fan saying that he'd take Saquon Barkley after two knee injuries right now over a primetime Barry Sanders was the most laughable comment I've ever seen in my entire life. That Barry Sanders was overrated and not a good running back. That was what he said. Sarah says I'm a history nerd. Oh, that's cool. Cool factoid there, Fred. Earl Campbell was a dog. Brent DeWitt, welcome to the chat. I cannot wait. I get my impression made for my dentures to be made next Thursday. Yeah, Brent, that was what was said. Oh, damn. That is a shame when that happens to young players, and it happens in high school just as much. So Dak may require surgery if he has to have surgery because of somebody said it was torn away. I read an actual report that it's a partially torn MCL or a hamstring from the bone. If that's the case for Dak, his season's done. Oh yeah. And then on December 4th, that's when the teeth get removed. I can't wait. I can't wait to have a smile again. It's gonna be weird talking with real teeth again. Anyone who has dealt with the type of genetics that I have for teeth, they will know how horrible it is. Barry was best pure running back, but what he did was something else. And let's face it, how lucky that the next guy just didn't smack Saquon Barkley, didn't smack him from in the back when he was coming down. And I'm not saying I wish an injury on him. Don't get me twisted on that. Because right now, if you were going to put four players up for MVP, is Saquon Barkley more to the Eagles than Jalen Hurts, or is Jalen Hurts more to the Eagles? Because right now, I think I would have it Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Josh Allen, and Saquon Barkley. And at fifth, I'd probably throw Jaden Daniels in there. Even though he's a rookie, what he's doing is amazing. Oh, I still smile like this, but it's a Cheshire cat type of smile because I'm ashamed of my teeth. Okay. I don't think either one's gonna get it. I'm just saying somebody threw Hurts in there. If you were gonna throw somebody in the MVP conversation, would it be Hurts or Barkley? For me, it would be Barkley. If you're gonna throw an Eagles player in there. Oh, 100%. And I was shocked he wasn't mentioned. You know, they're giving all the credit to Lamar Jackson, but Henry is being otherworldly this year. It's crazy. I mean, he leads all running backs in yardage. And if you were going to do that, if you were going to throw the AFC in there, would Mahomes make the All Pro, or would he just be a Pro Bowler? I think he'd just be a Pro Bowler because he's winning more with defense than offense. I mean, last week D Hop made a difference on that team. So let me explain the whole Zadarius Smith having rest yesterday and today. It's not a personal reason. It's because Dan Campbell said this was supposed to be his bye week. This was supposed to be his week off. He would have had those days of rest if he was a Cleveland Brown. So we gave him those days of rest. He returns to practice on Friday, just like the team does during the bye week. And he'll be practiced and evaluated then on whether he's ready to be the starter or a role player, is exactly what he said. If he doesn't have the grasp of what we're doing on the D line well, he is a good pass rusher. I think he'll be a rotational pass rusher playing about 20% of the snaps. Oh, yeah, we're blessed. I think we got the best 1-2 duo in the league. And I don't care what anybody says. I think second place you can throw. Right, the dude's 32. He needs to rest. I agree. So if he doesn't look like he's ready to go 100% with this scheme by having to play what a couple of days and just absorbing it, just because he's not practicing, that doesn't mean he's not there. It, I want to clarify that because some people say, "Well, he should be there." Nobody said he's not there. He could be there just in the film room and studying and learning the playbook. He could be working out in the weight room if he wanted, like most of the guys do during the season, during their off days. There's all sorts of things at the facility to do other than practice with the team. And maybe he's just observing the practice of the team, critiquing guys and how they could get better at pass rush. Nobody's even thought about that side of it. What if he's being a coach on the field right now? I'm just trying to give something realistic for us to look forward to. If the guy provides, think about it, without him, we're averaging 10 QB hurries and 2.3 QB hits a game, and still 2.5 sacks without getting a sack last week. Or no, 2.3 sacks, excuse me. That was without Zadarius Smith on the roster, without Hutchinson. I'm just talking about the last 3 games. I'm 54. Think about how much I miss it, Orlando. Steve Bauer, welcome in, good sir. Yannick Ngakwe, though, he hasn't done much. Can we poach him? Yes. Will we? I don't know. I kind of like the idea of poaching a young guy like Andre Carter that needs to be coached up, or someone like that on somebody's practice squad. Oh yeah, 100%. I'm not saying he won't, but to stay in game shape, keeping your body loose, that's why they work out. It's more cardio than lifting and all that stuff. They do a lot of film study too. Did the Texans play the Browns already this season? Just curious. Okay, so he had a sack versus the Ravens, a sack versus the Bengals, a sack versus the Commanders, and a sack versus the Giants, as well as a sack versus the Cowboys this season. Oh, I got you. Sorry, I was just checking on the stat. I just wanted to see who he had sacks against. I I don't agree with Yannick. I don't think he's that good anymore. He's kind of washed. I don't like grabbing washed guys at the twilight of their prime. I like having a guy that's in the middle of it, middle of getting to his prime, as a second year guy over him. That's just my opinion. All right, yes, sir. It is FTP. Do you want to see that picture of Kitty Ken, Brent? That's Kitty Ken, the Packer backer. And of course, as always, F F T P. Oh yes. So I'm still trying to wait for a reply from Ken Catalone. I want to know if he started a fan page yet called Vikings Pride or One Skull because with him being a Vikings and a Lions fan now. Congratulations, Dwayne King. Oh, so what do you guys want to know about? What do you want to hear? Oh, we all were wild and crazy from 25 and under. Both are at full practice right now, Steve Bauer. If you'd have been here a little earlier, I went over the whole practice report from yesterday. That's funny. But Iffy and Emmanuel Mosley are both at practice. They are in their 21-day activated window. They can be activated this week. I expect it to be activated by Thanksgiving game. Perfect for the best blitzing safety for 6 weeks last year, and if Yetu Melifamu to show up against an O line that's more porous than Swiss cheese or a fishing net. The Bears do a lot of lip flipping. Yes, they do. If I could go back to 25, that would be 1995. I would tell myself invest in Google. I was able to go back to high school, I tell myself invest in TRW. Pretty much, Sarah. Um, I think it's Dan Campbell and KOC up for best coaches in the NFC North right now. That's just me. Oh God, I remember that back when it was. Remember when it was like 350 a piece when they first came out? I said, man, I want to buy $100 of them. And my then wife told me that's just stupid. It's a fad. It'll go away. Yeah, those bitcoins are worth $40,000, $50,000 a piece right now. I think I'd be sitting pretty. You're talking about 110% profit or 1,110% profit. Amen. I know, but I was told not to even spend the $100. She goes, "You might as well just take it to the casino. You got just as good a luck." I disagree with that statement at all, Fred. Terrion Arnold has gotten better every week, and he hasn't had a penalty since the Cowboys game. What are you talking about? I hear you, Dwayne King. I did a $1 bet on a 14 parlay, and if I get all 14 games right, I'll be sitting pretty with $26,000. Just going money line on the winners, basically doing it just like our pick'ems. Why not put your money in where your mouth is every week? I can't afford to make $1,000 bet to make thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars like the one guy did. But I'm quite sure if I get a offer for a payout for around half of that, I'll take it. Just saying. And I think they're wrong. It's funny that people are saying that, but Terrion Arnold isn't giving up a ton of yards. He hasn't even given up a touchdown yet. Right. I don't understand why Terry people are ragging on Terrion Arnold. He's been our best run defending corner and technically our best coverage corner, other than a Meek Robinson. Yeah, I know. I know. Exactly. I need it. You know, making little silly cheap. I bought 10 when they were around 500. Still own them. Well, you got money in the bank right now, Moonscar. I wish I wouldn't have let my wife tell me no, but that's what happens when you're in love. You try to make mama happy. But the age old saying, when mama's happy, everybody's happy. Yeah, I hear you. But think about it though. If I'd have just put $1 in there, I'd have $50,000 right now on a part of a Bitcoin. A part of a Bitcoin. Mm-mm. The things we do for love. Well, it's getting almost that time where I get to do the countdown of the division. Top or bottom. I'll let Sarah, the Viking fan, decide today. She's the guest of honor. She's commenting left and right, and we appreciate her viewership. One of these ways, Dwayne, maybe we should get together and do a lunch. I'll send you a request link. We'll both get $50 in bonus bets, and we'll sit there and I'll teach you how to use them. Bottom always? Gotcha. Coming right up. Fourth place in the division with the 4-4 record. It, well, the Bears. Third place, it's FTP. Why? They're 6-3 and on the bye week this year. Week. No, they get 6-3. At 7-2 and in second place because they skull fucked the other team. It's the Vikings. And sitting atop the NFC North, the Kings of the North, 7-1. Let's make it 8-1. 2-0 in the division. Your 2023 NFC North champion, the Detroit Lions. How nice is it to hear that the Packers are 0-2 in the division, guys? Got a great record, beating other teams. We're the strongest team outside, strongest division playing outside our division in the league. If it wasn't for the Bears crapping the bed versus the Commanders and Cardinals, we might be even better yet. And last but not least is the sponsor that pays me to do this show. It is Brandon Service, right at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 Atherton Road. In Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Stop in and check us out. Used tires starting at $45 and up. New tires, call to get your quote, 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself on Saturday. Mention this ad, get $10 off your. Yep, I get it, Dwayne. That's basically the game plan. Um, the Texans' red zone defense is atrocious, allowing teams to score at almost a 70% clip. The Lions are in the top 10 at less than 50% being scored against. That's touchdowns and field goals combined, people. So if you want to talk just touchdowns, is y'all water better yet? Fuck no, it probably never will be. I drink bottled water, usually carbonated, like put into a confection like this, or brewed with coffee or tea. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make. Thank you, Steve. Yes, Steve has been there. Lion King has been there. Dwayne Keene has bought tires from me. 100%. We do great service, regardless of what we look like. I always say I have a face for radio, and all the guys agree. Well, have a great day, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow. Just remember, do as I say. Try every day to be a better person than the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here within yourself. That's the only way we're going to get better. I don't care if you're a left winger or a right winger. I don't care if you voted Trump or Kamala Harris. I don't care if you voted Governor Whitless back into as a governor. And yes, I call her Governor Whitless for a reason. But that doesn't matter. What matters is if you're a good person or not. That's the only way we're going to make this world better. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Most opinions are like assholes. Everybody